Welcome back, guys. My name is DrAvitech, and in this video we'll be treating the fourth paper type for JAMB Mathematics in 2026. If you are writing JAMB this year and you want to score high, in fact it is a mistake that you are taking JAMB this year and you do not watch this video series. It's a series because I have leaked out more than 6 paper types. This is the fourth one that I'm treating. If you want to really score high and you want your mathematics score to be off the chart, so high that you want to get 90 plus, you want to stay around to watch this video till the end and watch the rest in the series. So this is the fourth paper type and we're about to get started. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to everyone. This should be a major revision for you. This video series, from the first one down to the last one that I'll be doing, this is not the last, down to the last one that I'll be doing, you need to take it seriously because this year is better. Every single year, what I've been doing is just one paper type, 40 questions. But at the end of today's, when I'm done with this one, this will make it 160 questions. So that even if you are writing on the first day, on the second day, and JAMB is giving you different paper type, at least these very videos will come to your rescue. So let's get started with the first one. The first one says, multiply 0.0025 times 0.08, leave your answer in standard form. So that's the first one, number one. So we have 0.00025 times 0.08. Okay, now if you look at the options, two options are actually similar, option A and C. I don't know why they did that. So let's have this. In standard form, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2.5 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Then times for this one, you're going to move twice. Hold on. I'm supposed to move completely. So that I make this 25 times 10 to the power of minus 5. Yep. Then here, this will be 8 times 10 to the power of minus 2 because I'm going to move 1, 2. That's minus 2. Then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's minus 5. Now let's times. 25 times 8 will give us 200. So this is 200 times 10. This is minus 5, this is minus 2. In indices, we're going to add them together. So that's minus 7. All right. Now 200 in standard form is actually 2 times 10 to the power of plus 2. Because this time around, we're going in this direction. So this is 1, 2. So that will be 2.0 times 10 to the power of 2. And then times 10 to the power of minus 7. Now this is 2.0 times 10. 2 minus 7 is minus 5. So this will be the answer. The answer will become A. But like I said, mathematically, A and C are actually equivalent. But I think I would stick more around picking A as the answer. I'll stick more around picking A as the answer, but it's really, really sad. A and C are correct. Mathematically, they are the same value. But I'll just pick A since JAMB went to go and make a mistake there. All right, number 2. What is the loss percent of a commodity if the cost price is 30 naira and the selling price is 24 naira? So first of all, how much did the person lose? So cost price minus selling price, that's the formula for loss. So the cost price was 30 naira. He sold it for 24 naira. So when you subtract, you're going to have 6 naira. So that's the loss. Now percentage loss is loss divided by cost price times 100%. So this will be 6 divided by the cost price is 30. Then times 100%. Now 0 we cancel 0 here. 3 here is 1. 3 into 6 is 2. So 2 times 10 will give you 20. So the answer will become 20%. So the answer for that one is going to be B. Let's move on to the next one, question number 3. Question 3 says, evaluate 2 over 7 divided by, open bracket, 1 on number 1 over 7 divided by, 1 on number 1 over 14, then divided by 15 over 8. So that's what it says. So first of all, let's do our brackets first. So this is 2 over 7 divided by, you can change this. 14 times 1 is 14, then plus 1 is 15. So this will be 15 over 14. Then this division can change to times. So when it becomes times, 8 will go up, 15 will come down. So that's 8 over 15. Now, 15 can cancel out 15, right? Good, you know that that's possible. Now, 2 into 8 here will give us 4. 2 into 14 is 7. So what will be the remaining? Yep. I want to start doing this division. What will be remaining will become 2 over 7 divided by, what's left at the top here is 4, then divided by 7. Now this is 2 over 7 times, I can flip this, so the 7 goes up, 4 will come down. So that's 7 over 4. So 7 will cancel out 7, 2 here is 1, into 4 is 2. So the final answer is 1 over 2. So that's E. So that's the final answer to that very question, 1 over 2. Now remember, whenever you are watching my video, you can actually change in the settings. I think there should be a 3 icon at the top where you could make the video to be, of more quality so that you can view the board, and then make sure it's full screen so that you see everything clearly. Next one is number 4. Number 4 says, find the determinant of the given matrix X. So that matrix is -3, -1, 5, 5. So to find determinant, what we're going to do is we're going to say this times this. So that's -3 times 5. Then -1 times 5. So put a bracket here. -1 times 5. Now this will be -15 -1 times 5 is -5. So this is -15. Minus times minus is plus. And then -15 plus 5 is -10. So that will be the determinant of that very matrix. Let's move on to question 5. Question 5 says we should evaluate that very thing. Take note, when you see 2 straight lines, it means you are finding determinant. So in this case, we're finding determinant of the matrix 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, -1, 3. Okay, now to find determinant, we can use any row or any column. It is most textbooks you see them using the first row. So I'm going to use it. So this is 4. Now when I pick 4, I will eliminate this place where 4 is, eliminate this column where 4 is. So what will be remaining is 3, 1, -1, 2. So that will be 3, 1, -1, 3, sorry. Now the next number here is 1. So this one will become -1 because the formula will become plus minus plus. So for -1, when I eliminate this place where 1 is and eliminate this column, what will be remaining is 2, 1. So we have 2, 1, then 2, 3. I don't really want to be cancelling out. So it's going to make this work messy. But this is 1. So cancel here. This side is gone. Then cancel this row. What will be remaining is 2, 2, 1, 3. 2, 2, 1, 3. Then this is 3. So this will be plus 3. Then eliminate, let me do this one. Eliminate this and eliminate this. What's remaining is 2, 3, 2 minus 1. 2, 3, 2 minus 1. All right. So now we can find the determinant of the inner 2 by 2 matrix. So this will be 4 into 3 times 3 is 9 minus 1 times -1 is -1. So I could put it this way. Okay, I can just put that one in a bracket. Then -1 bracket, 2 times 3 is 6, -1 times 2 is 2. Then plus 3 into 2 times -1 is -2, minus 3 times 2 is 6. So this will be 4 into 9, minus is plus. Then -1, 6 minus 2 is 4. And then -2 minus 6 is -8. Now this will be 4 into 9 plus 1 is 10. And then -1 times 4, -4. 3 times -8, -24. 4 times 10 is 40. -4, -24. So this should be giving us 12 if I'm not mistaken. So that will be the answer to the equation. So that will be giving us 12. All right, so that's the answer to that very one. Let's move on to the next one, number 6. Number 6 says, find a standard deviation of 2, 3, 7, 6, 8, 4, 3, 3, 5, 7. Or to find a standard deviation. Well, that's why I said this is looking more like your science student, because they're the ones that deal with standard deviation and the rest. But like I said, JAMB can ask anybody this question, so you must watch till the end. So first of all, let's find the mean. So to find the mean, we add up everything. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 plus 6, 18. 18 plus 8, 26. 26 plus 4, 30. 30 plus 3, 33. This will be 36. Then 36 plus 5 is 41. Then this is 48. Divided by how many numbers do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this will become 4.8. So when you divide that, you're going to be getting 4.8. Now, how do we get standard deviation? Standard deviation is the square root of the sum of our deviation squared divided by how many numbers we have. So I can do this straight ahead. So I'll say standard form is the square root. Now let's start taking our deviations, because it says deviation square. Deviation is how far are these numbers from the mean. So I'm going to say 2 minus this, 2 minus 4.8 squared, plus 3 minus this, 3 minus 4.8 squared, plus, most people prefer to use a table. They prefer to use a table. I think let's use a table. So the numbers we have are 2, 3, 7, 6, 8, 4, 3, 3, 5, 7. So this will be 2 minus 4.8, 3 minus 4.8, 7 minus 4.8, 6 minus 4.8, 8 minus 4.8, 4 minus 4.8, 3 minus 4.8, 3 minus 4.8, 5 minus 4.8, and then 7 minus 4.8. So this is our deviation. Then this side, so this is our x, this is our deviation, then this is our deviation squared. Hold on. I've been needing a calculator to expand that. Okay. So we're going to have 2 minus 4.8. That should be minus 2.8. But let me just check. Okay. So this is minus 2.8. Then this should be minus 1.8. This should be around 2.2. Let me just check. 7 minus 4.8. Yeah, that's 2.2. Then 6 minus this should give 1.2. This should give 3.2. Yep. Then this should give minus 0.8. This should give minus 1.8. This should give minus 1.8. This should give 0.2. And this should give 2.2. All right. Well, oh no. All I just did was to evaluate this. Oh God. So what I just did here was x minus by x. So let's then take the square in another one. Gosh, this is long. Okay. All right. So let's start squaring them. 2.8 squared is 7.84. Let me see if there's another 2.8. No other one. Okay. 1.8 squared, 3.24. So this is 3.24. No other 1.8. Okay. 3.24, 3.24. All right. Then 2.2 squared, 4.84, 4.84. All right. 1.2 should be 1.44. Okay. 1.2 squared is 1.44. No other 1.2. Okay. 3.2 squared is 10.24. Okay. 0.8 squared should be 0.65. 0.64. Then this should be 0.04. 0.2 squared, 0.04. All right, that is a lot. So now let's sum this up. So we're going to take the sum of our deviation squared. So add up all of this. So that will be 7.84 plus 3.24 plus 4.84 plus 1.44 plus 10.24 plus 0.64 plus 3.24 plus 3.24 plus 0.04 plus 4.84. Okay, so this is 39.6. All right, so our standard deviation is the square root of the sum of our deviation squared over n. So this is square root of 39.6 over 10 because there are 10 numbers. So this is now the square root of 3.96. So square root of 3.96. This is 1.99. Okay. Now, the thing is, the option only has 2.0 as the closest. That's what the option has. The option does not have 1.98 whatever. And I think this was done correctly. Unless, of course, there's one portion where I must have made a mistake, but everything is correct. If you notice, when you square a negative, you must get a positive, so be aware. You must get a positive. So that's why it stayed the same. It did not change. So I don't think anything is wrong. But if anything is wrong, you can drop a comment. So I just correct it in the comment section. All right. So that's it. Let's move on to the next one. Question 7. The second term of a GP is 6 and the fifth term is 48. You have to find its eighth term. So first of all, in a GP, the nth term is a root to the power of n minus 1. So if this is second term, that will be a root 2 minus 1. So that will just be a root. And this is equal to what? This is equal to 6. Now using same formula, if the fifth term, this will now become 5 minus 1. So that's 4. So this will be a root 4 equal to 48. Now what do we do between these two? Because this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So we're going to divide both equations. So divide both equations. All right. So I'll do this over this. So that's a root 4 over a root equal 48 over 6. Now a will cancel a root to the power of 4 divided by root to the power of 1 means we're going to be subtracting. So that's root cubed. Then 48 over 6 is 8. Now this is root cubed equal 8 is actually 2 to the power of 3. So when these 3 cancel out these 3, root is equal to 2. And the next thing we do is we're going to put this back into any of the equation. So I'll say put root equal to 2 in equation 1. So equation 1 is a root equal to 6. So this will be a times root is now 2. So this is equal to 6. So to get your a, divide both sides by 2. So this means a is equal to 3. So a is equal to 3. Now the equation says find the 8th term. Using the same formula, what will be the 8th term? 8 minus 1 is what? 7. So this means, so sorry, I just have to use this part. So this means that the 8th term, T8, will become a root 8 minus 1. So that's a root 7. Now a is actually 3. So this will be 3 times. Root is what? 2. So this will be 3 times. 2 to the power of 7 is 128. And then when you multiply this, 4, 6, 8, 3. So that's what you're going to be getting. Let me see if that's, yeah, 384 is in the option. So that would be the answer to this very question. Let's take a look at the next one, question 8. Question 8, the next one. 3 consecutive terms of a geometric sequence sums up to 14 and their product 64. You have to find the terms. Please, I beg you. I know the solution to this question. I know the solution to the question. But don't attempt it. What you're just going to do is look at the options. Look at the options. Which one looks correct to you? It says that the sum is 14. So add up and see which one will give you a sum of 14. And then their product is 64. So only one of them can give you 64. Look at C and D. So for the option C and option D is not possible because there's a 0 there. So if you multiply everything, you're going to just be getting 0. So the answer lies between A and B. But if you look at option B, that option B, the answer is not there. Because option B, when you multiply, you will get 8 and not 64. So the answer has to be option E. No solve. It's not as if, I think, if you go down to one of my videos during Uniben Pursuit CME, I solved the equation like this. Yep, so I can actually solve this. But there's no time you're writing JAMB. So pick the option that matches the answer. Let's go to number 29. Sorry, number 9. So I've answered number 8. A is going to be the answer. You don't have to stress yourself. A is the only one whose sum is 14. 2 plus 4 plus 8 is 14. Then when you multiply, 2 times 4 times 8 is going to be 64. So it says that x is partly constant and partly varies as the inverse of the square root of y. When x is 12, y is 16. When x is 14, y is 16. Find x when y is 64. There's something fundamentally wrong with this question. There is. But hold on. Let me just try to solve it. But there's something wrong with this question. There is. Okay. So x is partly constant. So this means that s is equal a plus b root y. That's how to write it. Because s is partly a constant, so that's a. And then partly varies as the inverse. Oh, it's an inverse. So this will become b over root y. It's an inverse. Okay. So this is what we have. When s is 12, y is 16. I think I would like to change this. There's a problem somewhere. There's a problem somewhere. So let me change that to when x is 12, y is equal to 4. Yep. Then when s is 14, y is equal to 16. I think that looks much more better because you cannot be having equal y values. So I think either I typed it wrong or JAMB did something wrong. So let's see. So x is 12. So this will be 12 equal to a plus b over. This square root here will become square root of 4. So this is 12 equal to a plus b over 2. Just leave it like this, equation 1. Next, s is 14 equal a plus b over square root of y, and y is now 16. So that's square root of 16. So this is 14 equal to a plus b over 4. So this is equation 2. All right. Now I'm going to bring these two equations close together. So I have this and I have this. If you notice, they have a in common, right? So I can actually subtract both equations. I can do this minus this and this minus this. So let's do it like that. I'm going to say subtract both equations. So 14 minus 12, 14 minus 12 is equal a minus a minus a, then plus b over 4 minus b over 2. So 14 minus 12 will give us, hold on, 2. A minus a is gone. B over 4 minus b over 2. What would that give to us? You could say you want to take LCM. So LCM of 4 and 2 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times b is b. Minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. Times b is 2b. So this will be 2 equal to b minus 2b is minus b over 4. Then you can cross multiply. So this will become 2 times 4 equal to minus b. We are looking for b here. So the minus comes to this side. So this will be minus 8 equal to b. So you've been able to find the value of what? B. let's find the value of A. So I'm going to say, put B equal to minus 8 in equation 1. So equation 1 is 12 equal A plus B over 2. So this is 12 equal to A plus B is minus 8 then over 2. So this is 12 equal to A plus minus is minus 8 over 2 is 4. I can take this 4 to the other side. So this is 12 plus 4 equal to A. So this will be 16 equal to A. Now, remember that this is the formula we have. This is the formula we have connecting S and Y. Now, we've solved for A and we've solved for B. So this means that the new formula will then become, we normally have X equal A plus B over square root of Y. So this now become X equal to A is 16 plus B is minus 8. So I'll just write minus 8 over square root of what? Y. So that's what we have. All right. So it says find X when Y is 64. Okay, so this should be X equal to 16 minus 8 over square root of 64. So this is S equal to 16 minus 8 over, the square root of 64 is 8. So 8 over 8 is 1. So this is S equals 16 minus 1. So S is 15. So like I said, I didn't type the equation correctly. So I just have to change the numbers right here. So that's just it. Let's move on to number 10. So that's just it. This is how to solve equation like this. Number 10. If X varies inversely as the square root of Y and S equal to 8 when Y equal to 25, find Y when S equal to 4. This is actually very simple. When two things are inversely proportional, in this, that's not partial variation, they are just inversely proportional. Know that when you multiply them together, you're always going to be getting a constant. This is a shortcut I always use. So in the first scenario, we're told that S is 8. So this will be 8 times square root of 25 because Y was 25. This will be equal to X again. They said S is 4 and then times square root of Y. We're looking for Y. If you're a science student here, you must have learned those Boyle's law charts where they'll do P1, V1 equal P2. It's something similar to this. So this now become S1 square root of Y1 equal S2 square root of Y2. So that's what I'm doing here. So this will be 8 times square root of 25 is 5 equal to 4 times square root of Y. Now I can divide both sides by 4. 4 here is 1, 4 into 8 is 2. Then 4 we cancel at 4. 2 times 5 is 10 equal to the square root of Y. Now to get Y, you take the square of this side. So 10 squared is equal to Y. So this is 100 equal to Y. So your answer is D. That's going to be 100. The next one is number 11. Number 11 says, evaluate sine 60 degrees minus tan 30 degrees. So first of all, what is sine 60? Sine 60 is root 3 over 2. Then minus what is tan 30? That's root 3 over 3. Now what's the LCM here? LCM here is 6. 6 divided by 2 is what? Is 3. 3 times root 3 is 3 root 3. Minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times root 3 is 2 root 3. Now, 3 root 3 minus 2 root 3 is root 3. Then you put over 6. So the answer is A. That will be the answer to that very equation. Number 12. If tan P is 120 kilometers from tan Q in the direction 070 degrees, what is the bearing of Q from P? So first of all, we are saying it is from Q. So let's draw Q first because they say from Q. So I'm going to put Q down here because I already know how my bearing will move. So this is 70 degrees. So this is my Q and this is my P. I know that 70 degrees is here. So that means the direction will be protruding out. So I need to make this one come down, then the P will come up. So if this is 70 degrees, the angle here is also 70 degrees. We call this alternate angles. The angle on this side, when you alternate it, it will be on this other side. So that's 70 degrees. Now, when you're counting your bearing, you must start from this knot, so which is 0 degrees. So this is 0 and to here is 90, then 90 to here is 180. So then we have an extra 70. So what is 180 plus 70? 180 plus 70 is 250. So the answer to the equation is B. The answer is going to be 250 degrees. So that's what we have. All right. The next one says, find the standard deviation of the set of data 7, 4, 1, 0, and 3 if the mean is 3. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so the mean is 3. So they've helped us find the mean. So for question 13, I think it will be easy for me to just do it this way. That the standard deviation is the square root of sum of deviation squared over n. So that will be the sum of, okay, this will be the square root of, the first number is 7. So this will be 7 minus 3 squared plus 4 minus 3 squared plus 1 minus 3 squared plus 0 minus 3 squared plus 3 minus 3 squared. Then divided by, how many numbers do we have? We have 5 numbers. Because this one, we've already been given the mean, so we don't have to find the mean first. We've already been given the mean. So all we have to do is to find the deviation. How far are the numbers from the mean? How much do they deviate? So this will become the square root of, this will be 4 squared plus 1 squared plus minus 2 squared plus minus 3 squared plus 0 squared divided by 5. Now this is square root of 4 squared is 16, 1 squared is 1, minus 2 squared is 4, minus 3 squared is 9, and then plus 0 over 5. Now this will be the square root of 30 over 5. So this is the square root of 6, and I would have to take a calculator for that. But let me just check if it's truly 6. This, if it's truly 30, sorry. This is 20, yeah, it's 30. So we have the square root of 6. That's 2.4494. So this is the square root of 2.4494. So the answer will become, this is weird. I think I'll just pick option C. That's the closest, but there's no answer in the option. There's no answer, but I'll just pick that as the answer. Let's go to question 14. Question 14 says, how many ways can 3 students be choosing from a class of 10 for a committee? If you're making a choice, if you're choosing something, it's actually very simple to choose. So all you have to do is, this is actually 10 combination 3. To be 10 combination what? 10 combination 3. So what I'm going to be doing here is, this will become 10 factorial divided by 10 minus 3 factorial, then 3 factorial. That's the formula for combination. So this is 10 factorial divided by 10 minus 3 is 7 factorial, and then 3 factorial. So this is 10 factorial is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6, just like that. But I will stop here at 7 because it's already 7 at the bottom. So this 7 factorial 10 times. The 3 factorial can expand it or spread it. So that will be 3 times 2 times 1. 7 factorial, we cancel out 7 factorial. 3 here is 1. 3 into 9 is 3. 2 here is 1. 2 into 8 is 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 10 is 120. So the answer becomes 120. That will be the answer to the equation. The next one is question 15. Question 15 says, how many ways can 5 people be seated in a row? How many ways can 5 people be seated in a row? This is the same thing. Take note, it's not in a circle. If it's in a circle, you do minus 1. But this is just a row. So in a row, the answer will just be 5 factorial. The answer will just be what? 5 factorial. So that's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So that's 120 ways also. So that will be the answer to that very equation. Okay, let's move on to the next one, question 16. Question 16 says, find the derivative of y equal cos 1 minus 3x. So I have to find dy dx here. So first of all, dy dx. Differentiate this angle. When you differentiate 1, in the rules of differentiation, when you differentiate 1, you will get 0. Then when you differentiate minus 3s, you will get minus 3. That's what you get. Because this s will go away when you do 1 minus 1. So the s will go away. So this is minus 3. Then times, when you differentiate cos, you will get minus sine. Then you put this angle back, 1 minus 3x. Now minus times minus here is plus. So this will be 3 sine 1 minus 3x. So that will be the answer to that very equation. The next one, question 17. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to everyone. Question 17 says, the locus of a point equidistant from the point P bracket 10, 4 and Q bracket 8, 6 is a perpendicular bisector of PQ passing through dash. The question is not difficult. They only need you to tell us where that perpendicular bisector is passing. First of all, a bisector divides into 2 equal parts. So if it's dividing into 2 equal parts, it means we have to find the midpoint, the middle here. So let's find the midpoint. Midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So let's name our point. This is x and y, but this is the first point. So this is x1, y1, this is s2, y2. So x1 is 10. So this will be 10 plus 8 over 2. Then y1, this will be 4 plus, y2 is 6 over 2. Now 10 plus 8 is 18 over 2. 4 plus 6 is 10 over 2. So this will give us 9, 5. So that will be the answer to the equation. It only needs you to tell us where that bisector. To bisect, so we are dividing these two parts into equals. So it means it will be at the middle. Okay. The next one, question 18. Question 18 says, find the remainder of s cubed plus 2s squared minus 5x plus 7 when divided by s plus 1. So there's something called remainder theorem. This topic is in polynomials. There's something called remainder theorem. The first thing you do is, that thing that's going to divide, make it equal to 0. So s plus 1 is dividing, so make it equal to 0. Then you say this is s equal, take the plus 1 to this other side, it becomes minus 1. Now, in the polynomial, in the expression, anywhere you see s, you put minus 1. So our expression was s cubed plus 2s squared minus 5x plus 7. So anywhere you see s, you put your minus 1. So this is minus 1 cubed plus 2 brackets minus 1 squared minus 5 brackets minus 1 plus 7. Minus 1 cubed is minus 1. Plus 2 into minus 1 squared is 1. Because when you square a number, you must get positive. Then minus 5 times minus 1 is plus 5. Then plus 7. So this is minus 1. Plus 2 times 1 is 2. 5 plus 7. This is plus 5 plus 7. So that's plus 12. Now, minus 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 plus 12 is 13. So the remainder will become 13. So the correct answer is option E. Let's move on. Let me know in the comment section if this managing of board is okay, so that I wouldn't be cleaning too much. Let me know. If it's confusing, also let me know. But just follow through what I'm doing so you get it. Follow through what I'm doing. So the next one is question 19. Question 19 says, factorize 4y squared minus 9s squared. So you let me know in the comments if I should stop this too many demarcations. But I think if you are following, you will get it. Okay. So, first of all, this is 4. I can write 4 as 2 squared. Then I have my y squared minus 9 is 3 squared, and then I write my s squared. Now, these 2 get squared, y gets squared. So all together, this is 2y all squared. Then 3 has a squared, x has a squared. So this will be 3x all squared. Now, this will now become a difference of 2 squares. So what do I have to do? I'll make 2 brackets. In the first bracket, I'll do this plus this. So 2y plus 3s. The second bracket, I will subtract 2y minus 3x. So that will now become the answer to the equation, and that's A. It will become the answer to the equation. The next one is number 20. Number 20 says, let asterisk and triangle be 2 binary operations such that A operation B, the one with an asterisk, is equal A squared B, and then A operation B, the one that has a triangle, is 2A plus B. We are to find 2 operation 3, operation 6, operation 7. That's a lot. Okay, so first of all, see what we'll do here. In binary operation, do this asterisk first. So this bracket first. So let's start. This one has this asterisk, so we're going to use this definition. A operation B is A squared B. So this will be 2 operation 3. So we're going to say A here is 2, so this will be 2 squared times 3. So that will become 4 times 3, so that's what? 12. Now we'll keep the answer. Let's find 6 operation 7. So again, A operation B is equal A squared B. So for 6 operation 7, A is 6, so this will be 6 squared times 7. So that will be 36 times 7. Alright, this will be 2, 21, 25. So this will be 2, 5, 2. Let me just check. 36 times 7. Yeah, correct. That's 2, 5, 2. Now, listen up. They said find 2 operation 3, operation 6, operation 7. Now notice, we don't solve for this one. We've solved for this one, and the answer is what? 12. Then operation, we've solved for this one also, and the answer is 2, 5, 2. So this is the final thing we now have to solve for. So remember, you go with the symbol here. So the one that has this symbol is this one. So we have A operation B equal to A plus B. So this will now become 12 operation 2, 5, 2 equal A is now 12, B is 2, 5, 2. So this will be 2 times 12 plus 2, 5, 2. 2 times 12 is 24 plus 2, 5, 2. So this will be giving us 2, 7, 6. So that will be the answer to that question. D will be the correct answer to that question. So that's it. If this is very tiny, remember I said make your screen to be full screen. So this will be the answer to the question. Let's move on to the next one, question 21. So 21 says evaluate 1101 base 2, 1101 base 2 times 101 base 2. So that's 21. But to multiply these guys, so first of all, 1 times anything is that same thing. So this will just be 10111. 0 times everything at the top will still be 0. So that's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Then 1 times this will be 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. The next thing we're going to do is to add them up. So this is 1. I'll bring it down. This is 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. But since we're in base 2, I'll write 0 and carry 1. 1 plus this one again is 2. I'll write 0 and carry 1. 1 plus 1 here is 2. Plus 1 is 3. So when you convert 3 to base 2, that will be giving you 1 remainder 1. So 1 plus this very 1 here will give you 2 again. So that's 0 remainder 1. 1 plus this very 1 again is going to be 0 remainder 1. But there's nothing else, so I'll just write the 1 here. So that will be the answer. Let me see what the answer would be. Why is there no? There's no answer. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Oh, the correct answer is going to be A. So that's the correct answer to the question. Number 22. 22 says, convert 324 in base 10 to a binary number. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to divide 324. We'll start dividing it by 2. So 324 divided by 2. First of all, this will be giving us 162. That will be giving us 162. Remainder 0 because it perfectly divides it. 2 again will give us 81. Remainder 0. Perfectly divides it. 2 again here will give us 40, but there will be a remainder of 1. 2 again will give us 20. There's no remainder, 0. 2 again is 10. There's no remainder. 2 again is 5. There's no remainder. 2 again is 2. There's a remainder of 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. There's no remainder. Then 2 again, this will be 0, remainder, this very 1. So take this arrow up. So this means your answer will become 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, base 2. Okay, 101. 3 zeros at the middle. Is it 1, 2? Yeah, 3 zeros at the middle. None of them have 3 zeros at the middle. I can only just see 2 zeros. Okay, maybe this was typed wrongly by myself, but this will be the answer. So this will be the correct answer to the equation 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, it wants to look as if it's option B. Yeah, it wants to look as if it's option B. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So the next one will become question 23. Question 23 says, if x is equal 1, 3, x is 1, 5, 7, 8, y is 4, 5, 6, 7, then z is 5, 6, 7, 9. We are to find x minus y intersection z. So first of all, what is y intersection z? Let's find y intersection z first. So look at y and look at z. What's common between the both of them? What's common between the both of them? That's what intersection means. So there's 5 in both of them, then there's 6 in both of them, and then there's 7 in both of them. So this is what we have. That's 5, 6, and 7. Next one, we have x minus this very thing. So this is our x guy. This is our x guy. What this thing means is, look at your x, remove what you have in z, remove what you have in y intersection z. So it's just like saying that we have x, so this is 1, 5, 7, 8. Then I'm saying minus this very thing. So there's 5 here, there's 5 here, so it goes, there's 7, there's 7. So what's remaining is 1, 8. This will be the answer to the equation. That's just the answer to the equation. So that's all you have to do. So that's 1, 8. Because it's going to be the remainder of what's remaining in x. This is here is not your business. They're only saying, remove whatever you see in this set that is also in this set. And then you put the remainder that was in x. So it's 1, 8. Okay, number 24. Now, number 24, see, to be honest, when I looked at this question, I was like, I don't know why JAMB would even think of setting something like this. Because it involves 3 circles. So let's draw the Venn diagram. I will try to be very, very fast with it. So we have this circle, and then this circle. Okay, so this is what we have. So everybody should be 85 in total. Should be 85 in total. So let me call this cricket, let me call this golf, then let me call this hockey. So 45 men play cricket, so that's 45. 27 play hockey, 50 play golf. 22 play both cricket and golf, so C and G is 22. Then 20 play both cricket and hockey, so C and H is 20. Then Hold on. Then 10 play both these two. So this will be 10. And then y6 play the 3. All right. This is a lot. So first things first. First things first. This is 6. So the first thing you want to do is to minus 6 from here. Minus 6, minus 6. Let me write this. Well, 22 minus 6. Now, why are we minusing 6? Well, minusing 6 because we want to find cricket and golf only. This 22 here has the 6 inside. So for you to get only cricket and golf, you need to minus it. Okay, so 20 minus 6 will give us 14. So you need to start learning how this is 14 because I'm going to claim this, so this is 14. 22 minus 6 will give us 16. And then 10 minus 6 is 4. You get that, Abi? Good. Now let's move on to our 45, 50, and 27. Now this 45, to get cricket only, you need to minus all these numbers together. From, you see, this whole circle here should actually be 45. But since these guys are not included, it's more than 45. So for you to get cricket only, you need to minus these numbers. So let's sum it up. 14 plus 6 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 36. So 45 minus 36. Therefore, 50, these numbers here, sum it up in the whole circle. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 26. So minus 26. Then for this one, 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus this will be 24. So minus 24. So what we have here will then become 45 minus this. That should be giving me 9 if I'm not mistaken. So this is 9. 50 minus 26 is 24. So this is 24. And then this is 3. All right. So the equation is find a number who play at least one game. At least one game means from one game and above. From one game and above. That means those that play both the first one, second one, third one, and what have you. So let's add everything here together. Let's add all the numbers. 9 plus 16 plus 24 plus 14 plus 6 plus 4, then plus 3. Let's add it up together because everything here, the 9, 24, and 3, they're playing just one game. 16, 14, and 4, they're playing 2. Then this guy in the middle will play all 3. Adding this will be a lot. So 9 plus this is 25. So when you add 25, it is 49. 49 here, this is 63. 63 here is 69. 69 plus 4 is 73. 73 here is 76. So the answer will become C. 76 will be the final answer to the equation. Just add up everything. The reason why the answer is not 85, because I know that your mind will be telling you 85. That was what I thought initially. But then I remember that there's some people that will not play any game. For example, in this case, 85 minus 76 will be giving us 9. So there are 9 people that don't play any game. So that's why the equation is tricky. To make it more tricky, I feel like JAMB would have added 85 because most of them will go and pick 85. Please, the answer is what? 76. Let's move to the next question, number 25. A number is selected at random between 10 and 20, both numbers inclusive. So it means 10 and 20 they inside. Find the probability that the number is a prime. So first thing we're going to do is to list out numbers from 10 to 20. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, how many prime numbers are here? This is 1, 2, 3, and then 4. There are 4 prime numbers. So this will be 4 divided by, how many numbers are here altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the answer is 4 over 11. That's A. The next one is number 26. Number 26 says, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ if P is passing through the point minus 1, 4 and Q is passing through the point 4, minus 1. This question is a very, very tricky one. There was a question like this when we were doing Locus, but they only said at what point does it pass through. So let's solve this. Let me just give a brief illustration here. So this is P and this is Q. They're saying what will be the equation of the line that will bisect it. So the line that will bisect it, that line must pass through the middle. So first of all, let's find the midpoint. So midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. So going by our point, this is x1, y1, this is s2, y2. So our x1, this will be minus 1 plus 4 over 2, comma, then 4 minus 1 over 2. All right. So this will then give us 3 over 2, comma, 3 over 2. So these are our midpoints. Let's keep it. So now we know the point where it passes. Because if you are finding the equation of a line, you need two things. There are two important things you need. You need the point where that line passes, and then you need the gradient. So let's move on to find the gradient. Now, this gradient of this line, we don't know it. But first, let's find the gradient of PQ. Let's find the gradient of PQ. So gradient of PQ. Formula for gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2, let's see, y2 is minus 1, then minus y1 is 4, divided by x2 is 4 here, then minus x1 is minus 1. Now this will become minus 1 minus 4 is minus 5, then this will be 4 plus 1. So we have minus 5 over 5, so that's minus 1. So this is the what? This is the gradient of PQ. PQ. This is gradient of PQ. But that's not the gradient of a line I'm looking for. This M is the line that I'm looking for. You need to remember that these two lines are perpendicular to each other. These two lines are perpendicular to each other. And if they're perpendicular lines, that means the product of their gradients, M1, M2, will give you minus 1. So the gradient of the first line, PQ, is already minus 1. So when minus 1 cancels out minus 1, that means M2 is equal to what? 1. So you have gotten the gradient of what? You've gotten, when you divide both sides by minus 1, that means your M2 is what? 1. That means the gradient of the second line, the gradient of this line, M, is actually what? 1. So now, let's now get the equation of our line. To get the equation of a line, it's y minus y1 over x minus x1 equal to gradient M. So now we're now finding the equation. So remember, this was the point we have. So this is x1, y1. So this will be y minus 3 over 2 divided by x minus 3 over 2. What was our gradient? 1. We're going to be using 1, not this minus 1. No, we're going to be using 1. So now let's cross multiply here. This will times this. So this will be 1 bracket y minus 3 over 2 equal this will times this. That's 1 bracket s minus 3 over 2. Jesus. 1 times anything is that same thing. So this will be y minus 3 over 2. 1 times anything is that same thing. So that's s minus 3 over 2. This is funny. This is indeed funny. Now minus 3 over 2 and minus 3 over 2 is gone. So y is equal to x. So that will be the answer to the equation. The answer will become B. Take note here. If you take this minus 3 over 2 to this other side, you will get plus 3 over 2. So that will not give you 0. That's why I just cancelled it out, because they are the same thing. So even if you take one to go and measure that one, you will get plus. So it will not cancel out. So the answer to that question will become B. That will be the answer. Let's move on to the next one. Question 27. So question 27 says P is at 4, minus 6 and Q is at minus 2, 2. These are 2 points on a plane or on the plane. Find the coordinate of the midpoint of the line joining them. So we're just asked to find midpoint again. So our P is at 4, minus 6. Our Q is at minus 2, 2. So this is x1, y1. This is s2, y2. So our midpoint will become x1 plus x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So this will become 4 minus 2 over 2, then minus 6 plus 2 over 2. 4 minus 2 is 2 over 2, minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4 over 2. So this will give us 1 comma minus 2. So that will be the answer to the equation. The answer will become C. Let's move on to the next one, question 28. So for question 28, we have a circle. So it says the diagram is a circle with center O. You have to find the value of x. Alright, so this is the equation. This is what we have. First things first. See what I will do. This is the center. So it means to get this other angle here. This angle at a point, right? So it means this angle plus this angle must give you 360. So the first thing I will do is to say, let me find this angle here. So this angle here will become 360 minus 84. Already, if I take 60 from it, this will be 300. All going is 24. So that will be 276 if I'm not mistaken. So the angle here is 276. Sorry, so that will be the angle right there. So 276 degrees. Now remember that angle at the center, 276, is always 2 times the angle at the circumference, 2s plus 30. Always. So first, let's divide both sides by 2. So 2 we cancel out 2. 276 over 2. This will give us 138 degrees. Then this is equal to 2s plus 30 degrees. Now, I noticed that. Okay, let me just do this. Take this plus 30 to this other side. This will be 138 degrees minus 30 equal to 2s. 138 degrees minus 30 will give us 108 degrees equal to 2x. Now, to get to s, divide both sides by 2. So divide both sides by 2. 108 degrees over 2 is equal to 2x. So when this cancels out, this will be 54 degrees equal to x. So that's the answer to that very question. The answer is going to be A. Next one is question 29. Question 29 says we should find x. Okay, so we're asked to find the value of x. First things first is, if you look at this shape, this is a triangle. If you look at this one, this is a triangle here. So this, and this will make up a triangle. So let me call this one y. If this, and this is a triangle, that means to get the value of y here, first of all, we know that angle in a triangle is 180. Angle in a triangle is 180. So it means when you do 73 plus 55 plus y, we must get 180. So to get y, this is 180 degrees minus 73 plus 55. So this is 180 minus, this will give us 128. So when you subtract this, you're going to be getting 52 degrees, if I'm not mistaken, 52 degrees. Now, notice that this angle here is now 52. In circle theorem, when two angles are opposite in a cyclic quadrilateral, their sum must be 180. Their sum must be 180. So this means that x plus 52, s plus 52 degrees must be 180. So this means x is 180 degrees minus 52 degrees. So 180 minus 52 will give us 128 degrees. So that will be the answer to our equation. The answer will become A. That's our answer to the equation. Okay, so the next one will become question number 30. So let's move on to question number 30. Question 30 says, from the table above, find the first quartile class. Okay, so this is the table. Now, take note, if you notice in the table, they gave cumulative frequency, not frequency. They've already done the cumulative frequency, so that helps us. First of all, the first quarter, that's Q1, is always a quarter of our frequency. So it's always the sum of the frequency, 1/4 of the sum of the frequency. So this will be 1 over 4 times, the total is 836. 836. So when you divide this, this should give you 209. So that means the position of the class will be at where our sum of frequency is 209. So the sum here was 32, sum here was 97, sum here was 197. So this is where our sum will be 208. Take note, they've already summed it up. That's what they call it, cumulative frequency. If they've not, then we have to now do it ourselves. But in this case, they've already summed it up. So it means our 209 will be here, because here was 197. So this was the first portion, the first place we had a number that is what? That is more than 209. So it means it's going to be in this 40 to 49. But then as a class, remember, minus 0.5 from this side. So this will be 39.5. Then add 0.5 to this side, that will be 49.5. So the answer will become D. That will be the correct answer to the equation. Let's move on to the next one, number 31. Number 31 says the percentage scores of 110 students are given in the frequency table above. You have to find the median score. So this one, they did not give us the cumulative frequency, but we've been given the number of students. But let's draw the table first. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, we're told that there are 110 students. So 110 students divided by, we're looking for the median here, so we have to divide by 2, the middle. This will give us 55. So let's find out where our cumulative frequency will give us 55. So let's start. This is 11. 15 plus 11 is 26. 20 plus this will give us 46. 25 plus this will give us 71. So this is the position where we had something that is more than what? Something that is more than 55. So it means our median will become that very class. So that's D, 55. So that's very easy because you just sum up to get 55. So that's how to get that very value. The next one is question 32. So 32 says, find the value of x for which 4 bracket 3 to the power of 3x minus 2 is equal to 324. Now, for this previous question, I've solved something like this in the previous ones. Yeah, because they can repeat something like, so I've solved something like this before. So remember this, that to get your median in a table like this, cumulative frequencies are very important. So in those other ones, go and watch them. I've actually solved something like this. So that's why I was a little bit fast. And I have an online class in the next 20 minutes. Okay, so let's look at question 32. So this is 4 brackets, 3 to the power of 3s minus 2 equal 324. Now the first thing you have to do here is to divide both sides by 4. So this will become 3 to the 3s minus 2 equal 3 to 4 over this will give you 81. Now this is 3 to the power of 3s minus 2. 81 is 3 to the power of 4. So this 3 we cancel out this 3. So you have 3s minus 2 equal to 4. I can take this 4 to the other side. Sorry, this 2 to the other side. So this will be 3s equal 4 plus 2. So this 3s equal to 4 plus 2 is 6. Now divide both sides by 3. S will be equal to what? 2. So that will be the answer to that very question. Let's move on to question number 33. Remember, if this video has been beneficial to you, hit the subscribe button, like this video. Like this video. You have to simplify the square root of 15 divided by the square root of 5 minus the square root of 10. Now see what I will do. Since I'm trying to hurry up a little bit, see what I will do. This square root of 15 is actually square root of 5 times square root of 3. Then minus square root of 5 minus square root of 10 is square root of 5 times square root of 2. Because 5 times 2 is 10. So what I want to do is, since 5 is common everywhere, you only do this when the 5 is common everywhere. So cancel all of the root 5. So all the remaining will become root 3 divided by what's left here is 1 after you are done cancelling. So this is 1 minus root 2. Don't go and do this when you don't know what's provided. You see, since root 5 is common here, it means I can factorize out root 5. So when you factorize it out, what the remaining is 1 minus root 2. That root 5 that you brought outside will now cancel this very root 5. So that was what I did. Now here we're going to rationalize. So I'm going to times this by 1 plus root 2 divided by 1 plus root 2. Root 3 times 1 is root 3. Root 3 times 2 is root 6. Then for this one, if you want to times, use difference of squares. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus times plus is minus. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. So this is root 3 plus root 6 divided by minus 1. Now take the minus to the top. That's minus root 3 plus root 6 with a bracket. So let me see. It was opened up. So this will be minus root 3 minus root 6. So that will be the final answer, and that's A. Let's move on to the next one, question 34. So 34 is 8 to the power of y plus 2 is equal 16 to the power of 2y plus 1. So first things first, this 8 is actually 2 to the power of 3. Then you put your y plus 2 in a bracket. 16 is 2 to the power of 4. Then you put your 2y plus 1 in a bracket. Now 2 will cancel out 2 here. What's remaining is 3 brackets y plus 2 equal 4 brackets 2y plus 1. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times 2 here is 6. Equal 4 times 2y is 8y. 4 times 1 is 4. Now I can collect like terms. So this is 3y. If this 8y comes out to become minus 8y, equal 4. If this plus 6 goes out to become minus 6. 3y minus 8y is minus 5y. 4 minus 6 is minus 2. To get your y, divide both sides by minus 5. So this is minus 2 over minus 5. So y is equal to 2 over 5. So that will be the answer to the equation. I don't know what they did. They didn't type this correctly, but that's sad. The answer is 5 over 2. Maybe something was typed wrongly, but this will be the answer. I don't know why that happens. I'll check the equation again. Where I got the leak from, I'll check the equation again, but this is what we have. So let's move on to question 35. Question 35 says, solve the inequality 3 minus 4x less than or equal 7x minus 1. Okay, now I like my s being on this side. So this will be minus 4x. If this 7x comes out to become minus 7x, less than or equal minus 1. If this 3 comes over, it will become minus 3. Minus 4x minus 7x is minus 11x, less than or equal minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. Now to get x, divide both sides by minus 11. So s will be greater than or equal minus 4 over minus 11. Remember, as I divided by this negative sign, this less than now changed to greater than. So take note. Minus will cancel out minus. So the answer is 4 over 11. B is the correct answer. The next question is question 36. Question 36 says, find the solution set of the inequality s squared minus 3s minus 4 less than or equal to 0. Now, first thing we're going to do is to factorize this. So what are the two numbers you will times to give you minus 4? Add it to get minus 3. The numbers are minus 4 and plus 1. So you're going to make two brackets. So this is x and this is x because s times s is s squared. Now the numbers were minus 4 and plus 1. Then you put less than or equal to 0. So we have factorized it. Learn factorization, learn quadratic factorization, you need it. Now, between these two, which one is smaller? The s minus 4 is smaller. So this smaller one, we take the sign in this equation. So this x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. Or the bigger one, s plus 1, we take the opposite. So that's greater than or equal to 0. Now this is s less than or equal. If this minus 4 comes out to become 4, or s greater than or equal. If this plus 1 comes out to become minus 1. So that's what we're going to be having. But then we can combine this solution. So minus 1 is smaller than 4. If s is greater than minus 1, that means that minus 1 is smaller than it actually. So s greater than 1 is same thing as minus 1 less than x. Now this s is the same x here and it's less than or equal to 4. So this will become the correct answer to that very equation. A, that will become the correct answer. Number 37. Number 37 says, find the total surface area of a solid cone whose base radius is 3 cm and its perpendicular height is 4 cm. So first of all, total surface area of a cone. A cone would have a curved surface first. So that curved surface area is pi arrow L. Then the base of the cone is always a circle. So plus pi arrow squared. Now, if you notice, the answer is in terms of pi. So let's factorize out pi. So this will be pi brackets arrow L plus arrow squared. So this will be pi bracket. What is our radius? Radius is 3 times. Oh, we're not giving L. So let's find the L first. Let's find the L. But that's easy. Let me do it here. There's a space here. So this is what a cone looks like. This is what a cone looks like. Now the radius is 3. the height, we're told the height is 4. This is what L is. Now, if you look at this shape, this is actually a triangle, a right angle triangle. Now, remember that L squared will then become Pythagoras theorem. L squared will become 4 squared plus 3 squared. So this L squared equals 16 plus 9, which is 25. Now, to get L, we take the square of 25. So this will become 5. So that means L is equal to what? 5. So if you are watching, make sure you follow this. So this part was for question 37. So I had to just solve it somewhere else. So I'm going to use the 5 here. So this is 5 plus our arrow again, the radius, which is 3 squared. So this will be pi. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 squared is 9. So this is pi times 15 plus this will give us 24. So this will be 24 pi centimeter squared. So the answer is A. That will be the answer to the question. Let's move on to question number 38. So question 38 says, a roller coaster has a diameter of 1.5 meters. So the diameter is 1.5 meters and a width of 225 meters. So the width is 225 meters. How many meters square of road will it flatten if it turns 20 times? Okay, well, let me first do this. So the diameter, I don't think this information is necessary. So our diameter is 1.5. So to get the circumference of that roller, the circumference is pi d, or 2 pi r. So pi is 3.142, so that's 3.142. Our diameter is 1.5. So we need a calculator for that. So 3.142 times 1.5, this will be 4.713 meter. So that's the circumference of the roller. Okay, so this was our circumference. This is circumference. Now, this is just one tiny meter. But then the roller is 225 meters wide. So that means the area is going to cover in 1 ton will become 4.713 times 225. So this is in meters. This is also in meters. So when you times this by 225, this will become 1060.425 meters squared. So this is the area in 1 ton. So for 20 tons, this will become 20 times 1060.425 meters squared. So times 20. So this will be 21,208.5 times 21. Let me see. 2. The answer will become B. Let me explain a little bit. For this very question. Have you seen when they're tarring, they tar road, now they do road? They would have been pushing something to kind of flatten the road, you know. They will be pushing something. They're saying that that very thing is going to be, you know, rolling around. They're saying that beside this diameter, so it's like a circle, the diameter is 1.5. So first of all, this circular part, this circumference here, was this very value, 4.713. But then, that's not where it ends. It's like a circle. So it means that it's going to cover from here to here. So this length here is 225 meters. 225 meters. And then it will turn around in 1 ton. So that means you need to do circumference times the width to get how much area is going to cover in 1 ton. And to get 20 tons, you just proceed with that. Let's go to the next question. Question 39. I think let me message my student that I'll be a little bit late because my class is almost here. Gosh, my class is almost here. So for question 39, if the total number of fruits represented by the pie chart above is 300, how many are apples? First of all, if you notice, the degree for apple was not given. So let's find the degree for apple. Sum of angles is always 360. So the angle for apple will become 360 minus 105 minus 100 minus 95. So you minus the remaining angles. These two guys will give us 200, 300, so this will be 60 degrees. So apple is 60 degrees. Now the number of apples will become 60 degrees over 360 degrees times, they said there were 300 fruits. So 60 here is 1, 60 into 360 is 6. Then 6 here is 1, into this is 50. So there are 50 apples. So that will be the answer to the question. And then question 40. Question 40 says, find the equation of the tangent to the curve y equal x squared minus 4x plus 3 at minus 2, 1. So first of all, we're looking for an equation here. The first thing you should do is to find the gradient. And to find the gradient, you differentiate. So dy dx. Differentiate x squared, you get 2x. Differentiate minus 4x, you get minus 4. Then differentiate this very 3 is 0. Is 0. Now if you look at this, this is x and this is y. So now anywhere you see x here, you're going to put minus 2. So this is our gradient. So this will be 2 brackets minus 2 minus 4. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4, and then you put your minus 4. So that's minus 8. So this is our gradient. Now remember that to get the equation of a line, it's y minus y1 over x minus x1 equal to gradient. So this is y minus y1 is 1, then x minus x1 is minus 2. And this is equal to our gradient, which was minus 8. Now this will become y minus 1 over x plus 2 equal minus 8, because minus minus is plus. Now this will times this, so this is 1 brackets y minus 1 equal minus 8 will times this, so that's minus 8 brackets s plus 2. 1 times anything is that same thing, so this is y minus 1 minus 8 times x minus 8x minus 8 times 2 is minus 16. So this is y equal, I can take this minus 1 to the other side. So this is minus 8x minus 16. If minus 1 comes, it will become plus 1. So this is y equal minus 8x minus 16 plus 1 is minus 15. So that will become the answer to the equation. The answer is A. So with that, we're done with this very video series. But let me see, I think I can just briefly explain this guy again. In a pie chart, after getting the degree for angles, you have to do degree of angles, for apple, the degree of the angle, the degree for apples divided by the total amount of degree times how many fruits they are. So that's just it. So remember to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it across to every single person. So that will be all for today. I'll see you guys in the next clip. Bye.